Hi, welcome to Yo Soy. We're here downtown Fresno at CMAC. We'd love you to come down and take a tour. Rex, tell the audience your name.
Rex Spate, that rhymes with bait.
That's a good one. Central Valley most of your life? Or?
Oh yeah, I graduated from Hoover High School.
Did you?
A long time ago, class of '67, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Fresno City, Fresno State, '71.
What was your degree in?
Political science. And then I went to grad school, Santa Clara.
Then?
Well, then I went to Sonora, started my business. I was a lawyer.
You were a lawyer, okay. So let me ask you, your family, if you went to Hoover High, your family was here in Fresno for quite some time?
Well, my mom and dad moved down from Seattle. We moved out to the east
How did they land from Seattle to Fresno?
My dad was manager for Zellerbach Paper Company, and he got promoted to a better position down in the Fresno.
I know that did you live in Sonora for quite some time after you graduated and were given your law degree?
Yeah, I love Sonora because it was in the foothills and it was close to Yosemite Valley, and at that time I was really big on rock climbing, big wall climbing.
Really?
El Cap, Half Dome, all the big ones. And so I was only 74 miles away from Yosemite Valley, and I was primarily a big wall climber. And then when my big wall career came to an end, I resumed my long distance backpacking, and I threw a new thing in, which was my high elevation lake swimming. From high elevation lake swimming, oh, it's a real rush. It's a real adrenaline. I know they don't call it that anymore. It's a real epinephrine rush. The higher you go, the colder they get. If it's only 55, that's no problem. When it gets to 51, that gets problematic, and I haven't swam in 50 yet. I've swam in 3 or 4 lakes that were 51, and that takes a lot out of you. So I'm looking for 50, and I'm sure there's a 49-degree lake up there that I'm gonna swim across.
So you take your topo out and map out which lake is going to be the coldest, or do they have something like that?
Well, no,
or?
I have a bunch of maps, and I look for the highest lakes.
Okay.
And then the higher they go, depending on the depth, the colder they get.
Okay, so I would imagine, I'm thinking through, if I jump into ice cold water, which I've done before, it kind of takes your breath away a little.
Yeah, most people think I'm crazy.
Why?
To do what I do up in the mountains. Most people, when they arrive at a lake, they jump in, paddle around, and then jump right back out, dry off, and then take off. I go and set up and take photographs and record all my notes, and then I swim across and I swim back, and I made it each time. I've almost drowned twice.
And then you were also sharing that you have what was it, purple? You have an
attraction to the word purple. My backpacking name and my writing name and my photography name is Purple Hat, owing to the fact that I wear in the mountains a purple hat.
Okay. And that's just to find Rex?
Well, it keeps the sun off my face. It's cool. It's a very high-tech hat made by SundayAfternoon.com. It's a great hat.
Wow.
And I see lots of them out there, and it gives me something to talk about when I come across another backpacker. How long have you had your hat? What do you think about it? Where'd you get it?
Oh, okay.
I got one of the original hats they had. And about 4 years later, I met a representative from the same company at another event. And he looked at my hat, he laughed, and he said, "When did you get that?" And I told him, and it must have been one of the first ones they made, and he begged me to trade it back to him for a new hat so they could take that hat and put it in their hat museum. And I did that.
Nice. And you do another thing out there. You say you take photographs. So you participate in the art hop along with the rest. Oh
yeah, I've been in art hop for a long time. But I like large photographs. I like, out in nature, how can you put it on an 8 by 10? My biggest photograph is 10 feet long by 3 feet wide, and I have several that are 8 feet by 3. And
so kind of a mural
Oh
type?
yeah, they call them panos.
Oh, okay.
Panos, short for panorama.
Oh, how wonderful.
I make distance panoramas, and then I make close-up panoramas. And I kind of like my close-up panoramas better because they're more spectacular and more unique.
That's kind of an unusual type of photography, isn't it?
It's hard to drag 8-foot-long pictures around. My house is nothing but my photographs.
Right, and
Just-
they're very good. We'll have to share that with the
Oh, thank
audience
you.
someday. Very nice.
Thank you.
And you do this every year. You enjoy Yosemite Valley.
Well, you know, I haven't been able to do it for the last 5 years because of health reasons or not having somebody to watch my dog.
I know. Yeah, Joaquin. Venture. Can you tell us now in Fresno? You've returned back to Fresno from Sonora. And you've been back since.
About, actually about 8 or 9 years.
Okay, and you hooked up, called or reached out to some of your old school buddies and whatnot, and
Yeah,
kind
it's,
of-
I have a bunch of friends and we still do things together, although a lot of them have kind of spread out across the country. I have some that are right here and it really makes me feel good. It's getting better. In fact, my life is getting better as I go along, and I'm really blessed. And for that, I thank God.
right.
He has given me so many chances and protected me so many different ways. And I'm right now working on my chocolate business to help with the homeless problem in Fresno.
Chocolate.
No, my
Your-
name of the company is
There you go.
North U Street Chocolates.
Do you have a website?
Not yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
getting close.
Do you have your phone number? Why don't you share your phone number?
It's 559-6812-377.
Okay, and this is your slogan.
Fresno's Best Chocolates. It's more than a slogan, it is a fact.
There you go. And share with us why that is a fact.
Well, I only have one competitor in town, and he does a very good job. He's a dark chocolate. They're dark chocolate people, and they do a great job with dark chocolate, but they only do dark chocolate, and it starts at 73% and goes all the way up to 103.
Okay.
We do white, we do milk, we do 70% dark. We put 7 different premium nuts in our chocolates. We use almonds, pistachios, pecans, walnuts, macadamias, cashews, and the special coconut that I make called Thai coconut. Our chocolates is called Fresno's Going Nuts, and everybody likes the name of it. And it's a reality. We have so many nuts here in Fresno. We feed nuts to the world. And Fresno's Going Nuts has the 4 main chocolates, the 4 main nuts: almonds, pistachios, pecans, and walnuts. And so we sell a lot of that. That is our best seller, whether it's white milk or dark. But the other one that is right by it is Never Give Up on Love, which is our triple almond, full-sized, sliced,
So
and then
I know we
chunks.
have paper plates, but this is the one that.
Well,
Goodness
this
of
one
Love?
here
This is a different one.
This one here is Goddess of Love. I really like that name. Goddess of Love is for my very best chocolate. It's a 70% dark chocolate that's got macadamia nuts, cashews, and then my Thai coconut. It is the best. So I brought some of that along. And what we're doing right now, because it's only 104 outside, chocolate was invented, chocolate bars were invented 171 years ago, 1847, I believe, by a pair of brothers in England. And 3 minutes after they got their first chocolate bar, they came up with the way they wrap it, which is they wrapped it in a napkin, which is, paper. And ever since that time, we've been struggling with chocolate when it's 104. It melts and it becomes a big mess. So anyway, at North U Street Chocolate, we thought about the problem and we came up with a solution. And it's our picnic packs. They're in FDA-approved polystyrene containers. They come with a lid. You put it out in the sun, and I know in Fresno, at this time of year, it's hard to find a place that's sunny and warm, but if you can, you put it outside maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and all of a sudden, you've taken hard, cold chocolate, which is how all of us have eaten it all of our lives, and you've turned it into melted, warm, luscious chocolate. You've increased the pleasure of the chocolate by at least tenfold. So anyway,
When you say the pleasure, you're not only talking about the flavor, but the consistency of the...
oh yeah, you can have like a full spoon if you want. You can have just a little teeny bit, you know, a couple of tablespoons, but sometimes just a little bit on the end of the spoon just gives me a chocolate ride for another 15 or 20 minutes. When you're done, when you're done eating your chocolate, you put the top back on, put it in the refrigerator, and you're good to go. Now, some people put these in their gym bags, purses, briefcase. They take it down to work.
So it's an easy container, scoop it out, and you can still reuse it.
Oh yeah, the container
much.
is really slick. Wash it out.
And the chocolate, even though it melted a little bit and maybe you have half a container left, you can still store it away
yeah,
and it's
just
still
put the-
good.
Just put the top back on it, put it in the refrigerator, or put it back in your gym bag, and it will be good.
Okay.
Good. And eventually, you end up, no matter how big the container is, you eventually end up getting to the bottom, and then you think, I think I want another one of those.
All right. So now, you have how many flavors now?
About 24 or 25. It varies, goes up and down. I've got 2 new ones that I'm ready to go.
Okay.
And then I've got my stevia vegan chocolate, which is very, very close.
Okay. And all of your ingredients are all natural, organic. I mean, that's
No, they're not necessarily organic, but they're wholesome, they're natural, they're fresh.
local.
Most of them are local.
Right.
All the stuff I buy local. Everything I buy from a local store here in Fresno. I want to support Fresno County. My local competitor supports Fresno County because they make their chocolate here. My slightly bigger competitor, See's, they make their chocolate in LA and San Francisco. And Rocky Mountain, when they reopen, they make theirs in Denver. That's a long time for your chocolate to wait to arrive. I make my chocolate and it's for sale the next day, okay? If you want fresh, come to Raphael Chocolate for the high darks, or come to North U Street Chocolates. If you don't care if your chocolate is fresh, go to See's or go to Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, so you have a good point. Fresh chocolate. So now I know that you did some changes. Now you have some here in liquid form as well.
Right. I started making chocolate, and it did not take me long before people came up and said, gee, I'd love to buy some chocolate, but I am diabetic.
Okay.
And after hearing that for a couple of months, I realized I had to do something about that. But I did not want to use an artificial sweetener. I don't want any of my clients to come down with cancer or gastrointestinal distress. So I decided I would make my chocolates with stevia, which is a natural plant from South America. It's sweeter than sugar, but yet it has no calories, and it has no contraindications. It's also taken over the artificial sweetener market. NutraSweet, you've all heard of that, you've all had it. It's switched to stevia. So anyway, I feel I'm in the right place and at the right time. And right now I've got, let's see.
So this is made with stevia, and this is recommended for people with diabetes?
Well, yeah, I drink it myself. I don't have diabetes, but it is designed specifically for diabetics.
Okay.
But it also, because it has no sugar, there are people that do not want to eat sugar even though they're not diabetics. And the other thing interesting about what we're doing with our stevia is it's all vegan. All of our stevia products are vegan. There's no dairy or animal in any of it, and that includes the cookies that we are making.
Oh.
So what I brought, well, what we have is our main product in the stevia line, our first product is this cocoa. It's a stevia dark chocolate cocoa. And then the second product was a stevia dark chocolate cafe, which had an instant dark coffee in it. So those are both really great. They're strong sellers. I consume the stevia cafe for my caffeine in the morning. And so eventually we got to the summer and we realized we were missing an opportunity by not taking out bottles of pre-made cold cafe and cocoa. And so we've started doing that. I can't believe it, but our little chocolate is now, we bottle. We become a bottler. And
do people drink this direct from the bottle?
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
It's great. Okay. So it's like a moo. What is a chocolate drink, essentially?
The main thing you get is chocolate. Okay. The second thing you get is the stevia sweetness. You do not taste the caffeine. You do not taste the coffee, and I did that intentionally because I'm all about chocolate. Mm-hmm. But I do like the caffeine, and so you don't taste the coffee, but you get the caffeine rush.
Okay, great. So people can buy this locally right now. They can call you and place an order, and you ship it out. Is that pretty much, or you go to various venues?
Okay,
or?
I'm a cottage food Class A. Soon I'll be a cottage food Class B.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can you explain what that is?
Yes. Fresno County has a whole bunch of businesses. Fresno City and Fresno County has a whole bunch of businesses that operate as cottage food operations, or CFOs. And they're great. They allow little small, like usually it's a mom and dad or a small family. They can set up a little farm on their property. Mm-hmm. Or they can make some product. A lot of my CFO friends make cookies, and I have one that grows produce in their front yard. Can you believe that? Mm-hmm. Well, I decided, I love cookies, but I decided I love chocolate more than cookies, and so I decided I would make chocolate. And I'd actually made chocolate before. I had this one particular variety that I made all the time and took it with me when I went into the mountains. Mm-hmm. And so that was my first chocolate. And it sold well, but you can't just get by on one chocolate. And so I started making more.
The varieties.
And more. And white, of course, is not chocolate unless it has 20% cocoa butter or more. But some guy said to me, hey, you need to start selling white. I wasn't selling white because it wasn't chocolate. So I started selling it, and it's a big seller. I have about 8 different kinds of white, about 10 or 11 different kinds of milk, and then my 70% dark, I have about 6 or 7 of them. And when the stevia vegan chocolate comes out, I'm going to nut it up just the same way I nut the white, the milk, and the 70% dark. So it really is going to be nutty. It will have no sugar in it. Even the coconut that I use has no sugar in it because I buy real coconuts, break them open, strip it out, and probably none of you have ever had real coconut, real fresh coconut, but it is sweet. I don't know why they loaded up with sugar in the stores, I mean in the manufacturing facilities, but you don't need that. You don't need to have that extra sugar. You can just get coconut, and it's sweet enough.
And you put it into your products, period,
yeah.
the way it is.
Oh, yeah.
Once you shred it, right? And
Well, I toast it. I toast
okay.
it. I shred it, and then I toast it, and it is delicious. It is chewy. It gets coconut stuck to it. It traps everything in your mouth so you don't swallow it all. You know, there are no taste buds in your stomach. They're in your mouth. It's in your best interest if you keep the chocolate in your mouth
chew it slowly
as
or let
long
it
as you
melt.
can. And the coconut does that. Now, I put a lot of nuts in my chocolates. I put a lot of coconut in my chocolates. Some people have said they don't want to buy my chocolates because there's too many nuts. And there are people out there that don't like coconut or only are marginal coconut lovers. And for those, I do have chocolates without coconuts. I also have chocolates without nuts. In white, milk, and dark, I have a pure white, and I have an almond butter, creamy almond butter white. I have a pure milk and a creamy almond butter milk, and I have a pure dark, pure 70% dark. And when I get the stevia vegan chocolate going, we will have a pure stevia vegan chocolate, and also a creamy almond butter.
That almond butter sounds pretty
Creamy
good.
almond butter dark chocolate. So
So why don't we share with the folks what which this is?
well, this one is Saks on the Beach. It's got my macadamia cashew Thai coconut package. I love macadamias. I brought 2 different chocolates here with macadamias. Sorry about that.
Do I pick that out like that, or not just the nut?
This one, I didn't get it warm in the sun. I put it in the microwave. You can microwave these for like 30 seconds. Make sure you take the top off. I microwaved this too long, and it got a little toasty, but it's
Okay.
still.
Oh, looks good. And then, I don't know if they can see this or not, but you have
My poor spoon got
peanut-
beat.
No, you have peanuts, or I mean, the nuts are on top. Yeah.
Yeah, those got a little toasted, but they're delicious.
And then what do you have here?
Well, excuse
This
me,
is
let me finish this.
Pecan lovers.
Pecan Lover is a really popular chocolate. In the dark, 70% dark, I like the Pecan Lover the best because the crunch and the chew, it's got pecans, it's got walnuts and my Thai coconut. What I have here is the milk. It's great.
Well, now, chocolate, I know that when I would stay up late, I would eat chocolate, and they say that it helps your brain. So it is beneficial
Well,
to the body.
you know, the problem is, you're absolutely right. I hear all kinds of interesting things. All I can say is it works for me. It makes me feel good. Now, let's talk about sugar. White has the most sugar. Milk has less, and dark has the least. Or 70% dark has even less. But the stevia vegan chocolate has no sugar. So one of the issues that you deal with is how much sugar do you want?
Right.
How much do you want to bring into your body? And I can respect the health issues of sugar. I can respect the problem with it in terms of if you're a diabetic. And let's talk about nuts. I love the nuts that we use. They're all large nuts. I try to get full nuts, and I don't like chopped or nuts like that, but whatever the piece of it needs, whatever the candy needs, we will make the nuts work out just the right way.
The VA hospital and
Yeah,
do that.
we were upselling.
What days of the week do you go?
We go to the VA in the morning and early afternoon on Tuesday and Thursday. They have a farmer's market there. It's really nice. There are some other quality vendors there.
Okay. Are you doing another farmer's market other than that, or?
We will go back to Sunnyside, swap meat when it's cooler. And we're negotiating with a couple of other places. There's 2 wineries we take our chocolates out to. We're looking at getting into the Kern Street Farmers Market. And also, let's see, Children's Hospital Farmers Market.
Okay.
But the main place is to buy this at my place, which is at 147 North U Street. The problem is it's only a 2-block long street. And well, that's the main problem. It's only 2 blocks long. But if you can find it, my place will be easy to find. It's probably the most arted out house you've seen in Fresno. What do you think about that, Edna?
Yeah,
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it's well decorated. You definitely can pick you out of the bunch.
Okay, so if you're driving along, you're thinking, hey, where is this place? And all of a sudden you get this spot, oh man, there's all these things
Well,
blowing
you
around.
See the colors too.
Oh yeah.
The colors of the house.
My house is not black. It's just Huerta avocado dark green. And then the bright green in my house represents the meat of an avocado. So my house is actually colored like an avocado, even though it looks like it's black and green.
For special occasions, right?
Oh yes, we do 2 things specially. During the cool months, we make hearts. Our chocolates come out as hearts, either small hearts or reasonably sized hearts. And they have nuts encrusted on the top, plus they have nuts on the inside. Now we make that during the cold months, and it travels well, and it doesn't melt, and everything is perfect, and people love buying the hearts. We like to sell hearts because we think our chocolate is so good, it should be eaten with somebody you love, okay? So right now we're not making those, but if you want some hearts, you call me, I'll make you hearts. And the other thing is we make regular candies out of molds, as opposed to like a heart or a picnic pack, like little candies that you can pick one up and put it in your mouth. We recently made one for a friend of mine's daughter who was having a wedding shower, and they were 70% dark. And because she knew she was having a boy, she wanted blue M&Ms, no, blue peanut M&Ms because of the nut. So I looked around and I tried to find, so anyway, I found what I needed. There was some different contrast with this chocolate. You're eating this creamy, luscious, 70% dark, and all of a sudden you get to this candy, crunchy shell, and then